sport, you think those people are incredible. They make it look so easy. In many ways, it does become easy and easier and more effortless as you master a skill. Now, it's odd to call transcendental meditation a skill, but it is. Um, there are a few people who can legitimately say, I can't believe it's any kind of skill. My mother, who was one of the first people I taught TM to, she was, if you met her, you'd have met people like her before, totally innocent. She was a sophisticated person. She worked, in a business, but she just had such an innocent personality. On the second day that I was teaching her, she said, my first name is Joseph, and only my mother called me Joey. She would say, Joey, um, do I really need to come to the more, I am very busy. Would I need to come to these other couple of lessons? Because I'd say, Mom, you committed to do the 4 days. So, she said, yeah, but I don't see how you could do this wrong. And my response was, Mom, I can tell you 10 ways off the top of my head you can do it wrong. You could think the mantra too intensely. You could try to hold on to the mantra. You could resist thoughts. You could resist noises. Uh, you know, you could do so many things. She said, yeah, but you told me not to do that. She said, you said, just take it easy. Take it as it comes. You played that video of Maharishi, and he said, just the main instruction of meditation is take it easy, take it as it comes. Now, I am nothing like my mother. I learned TM and I resisted thoughts, noises. I know the teacher was saying, I had a teacher who said, take it easy, take it as it comes, don't resist. Yeah, but I thought he was just being nice. I mean, and plus, couldn't figure out how to do it. Can you try to not try? I hope very few of you are like me. I was not a good student of TM. It took me a while. And for many of us, it's just a matter of personality. Tom just said it. I'm sure you're all dedicated meditators if you got on this thing, but he's actually reminding you if it isn't 100% effortless, hey, come in for checking. I had to do that a lot, and I thank the teachers who put up with me coming in for checking, and I kept doing it, and they kept saying it's easy, and I kept thinking, okay, I'll say yes, but I think it's a little hard sometimes. No, the skill is the skill of naturalness. And for many of us, it takes a little while to catch on, but right in the beginning, we start to feel some of it. And that's the beauty of it. In the first week, yeah, I think I feel some of that, and I'm feeling the benefit of it. That's great. But we should always move in the direction, if we need to, of 100% naturalness and effortlessness, no matter how we're feeling, no matter whether we're having very few thoughts, a lot of thoughts, whatever. Drowsiness, still, we know how to be effortless. That is a skill. Now, even with a partial value of that, you're letting nature do it. I was with Bob Roth in England and we were teaching a group of lawyers. And one was intensely skeptical. He loved the fact of questioning everything we said. And when I said something about effortlessness, he just said it can't be effortless. You have to do something. And I said, well, as we've said, it's nature doing it. And he goes, look, I don't want any of this spiritual talk. Nature. I mean, what does that mean? And I said, well, what's beating your heart right now? What's making your heart beat? You're breathing in oxygen, you're breathing out carbon dioxide. Who's doing it? And he looked blank. like never considered that there's some force that's doing everything, that's functioning in his body, coordinating all the different organs. It was like too much to consider. I said that force is what we call Mother Nature. It's a field of cosmic intelligence, cosmic meaning it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's running each of your bodies. It's running all the bodies in this country. It's running everything else in nature, in our planet. And it's running the entire universe all at the
What's up,
same
babe?
time. I
Okay.
mean, it's incredible. So that's the force that's running your TM practice. And you have a skill, the skill of cooperating with that force. That is the greatest skill meditation in the history of the world. Now, I'm not saying that's the only form of meditation, but I think it is legitimate to say that is the basis of all forms of meditation. For example, I'm sure Tom and Jeannie have taught. I had the benefit when I was first a TM teacher of teaching a couple of monks. They were Cistercians. If some of you are Catholic, you know that the Cistercians, they're called Trappist monks. They're they're contemplative. They don't teach. They make jam. They make a few things in the afternoon, but otherwise, they do different forms of prayer all day long. Some groups, individual, silent, out loud. And I was invited to go to their main monastery, which was outside of Boston in Spencer, Mass. And it's their abbot there was really a famous monk and beautiful man. And he said, you know, the monks here, we've decided to learn TM, all of us together. And he said, you taught a couple of the monks, and we've looked into the research, their experience, and we've decided that TM is a means to develop the ideal state of mind for prayer. And he looked at me and he knew I was Catholic, obvious. He said, Mario, you know what prayer is? And I said, well, I think so. And he said, you know, it's not just saying words. And I said, of course, I get that. He said, I'll quote him because I've never forgotten, this is 1979. He said, the ideal state of mind, and he went like this, the ideal state of mind for prayer is when the mind is like a still lake, silent and pure. And he smiled, and I knew he knew what he was talking about. He said, then prayer is most fulfilling. Our monks have decided to learn TM because we think it's like an exercise we can do every day so that we have that state of mind more fully, more frequently, and ultimately we would love to have it all the time. That's why we want to do TM. And then he said, and we also have healthcare interests. So, you know, he went into all the practical things as well. He said, not all the monks enjoy making jam. I think if you consider it, you may not be practicing TM because you want to pray more effectively. But let's be honest. All of our thinking is a prayer. It's contemplative. We think about things. That's what contemplation is about. And developing the capacity of our mind to think, as that monk said it, on a basis of great clarity and silence and purity of consciousness. What are we doing when we practice TM? Oh, we're doing a lot of things, and I believe me, I can predict why each of you wants to meditate every day. you sleep better, you think better, you're healthier. There's this myriad of benefits that none of us want to do without. And TM does help promote those benefits in every area of our life. It's fantastic. But you must realize that TM is not trying to do any of those things. So what is it doing? It's enlivening the inner intelligence of our mind and body. It's it's nurturing that. It's developing pure consciousness, the transcendental value of consciousness, which is pure intelligence, pure creativity. It's pure bliss, it said, pure happiness. That all the benefits we have are side effects of that one simple thing. Now, advanced techniques, all of them, including group meditation. I would say, by the way, that a very important advanced technique is for you all to get enough sleep at night. And I'm 100% serious. You don't have to go to Tom or Jeannie for that. It's not easy. Believe me when I tell you I know what you what you face, because our culture is a culture that's going away from appreciating the value of sleep. Teens between 2000 and 2010, this is according to the National Institutes of Health, slept 20% less than they did between 1990 and 2000. I didn't say 5% less, 20% less sleep. And how about adults? You think they're not sleeping less over these last few decades? So it means our culture is going away from getting enough sleep. As meditators, you want to do something to advance your TM experience? Make sure you're getting enough sleep. It's easier said than done, but that's going to be advance. It's going to advance your practice. What else? Retreats. If you look at the current research on sleep, because now we're on the value of sleep, the main researchers would say very hard to catch up on sleep that you've deprived yourself of. Very hard. And you've built up fatigue your whole life. How can you get rid of the buildup of fatigue? Modern science doesn't have a way. The advanced TM program, which involves retreats, which is included in every retreat, it's called rounding. How many of you could just raise your hand or do something to, how many of you have done a TM retreat? Okay, yeah, probably half. Let me tell you, that is a powerful advanced program because fatigue is a form of stress and you've built it up in your life. And this incredible thing that you do on a TM retreat, even if you do, Tom and Jeannie, do you sometimes have these half-day retreats,
Yeah, we have half day retreat.
line retreats?
Yeah, half day, all day, all weekend. We had a weekend retreat a
Now,
months
how
ago.
many, if you've gone to even a morning retreat, it's like 4 hours, it starts maybe early in the morning, how many wouldn't say, wow, I felt quite an effect from doing this procedure of rounding, yoga, asanas, pranayama, meditation, repeating? I mean, even in a half a day. But if you do a whole day, if you do a weekend, if you do a long weekend, the power increases. This is a very important advanced program because it's going to get rid of accumulated fatigue and enliven pure consciousness even further. How about something that's not related to closing your eyes? Just knowledge. How many of you have taken or attended advanced lectures and found, boy, that really, I feel it's really helped me deepen my experience of meditation by understanding the growth of consciousness more. And retreats actually have a component of advanced knowledge, but your center, Tom and Jeannie, do things all the time that help advance your understanding of nature and the role that nature has in your evolution of consciousness, all these techniques. That's very important. That will enliven the benefits. So that will advance your TM practice. Reading books. Marishi's books are incredible. Dr. Nader's books, more and more books are coming out. If you like reading books, that's a very important part. Listening to the news. Uh, no, I don't think that advances your TM practice. I don't think, I just want you to know that. And those of you who listen less gain more. But I'm not suggesting lifestyle change, like don't listen to the news. I just thought I'd mention, throw that in here. Uh, Advanced techniques. Why do we have these advanced techniques? I feel so fortunate um, to be involved in the teaching of Marishi's advanced techniques. They're, they take advantage, each one of them, of your skill of effortlessly transcending. That's how they work. They work because you've developed a very powerful skill of meditation. So every one of the advanced techniques depends on you knowing how to effortlessly allow nature to expand awareness. The the first of the advanced techniques is done at night. It's done before bed. You probably know this, so I'll just say it quickly. What is it about? It's about a different approach to effortlessly transcending as your body is going from being awake to falling asleep. Now, you all know that when you transcend, do transcendental meditation during the day, after transcendental meditation, not in every session, but most of the time, you feel an effect continuing, and it's good. What would be the effect of transcending as you're falling into sleep? It'd be starting sleep in a much better state. And even the slight unpublished research so far is people experience more minutes of deep sleep, less disruptions of the sleep cycle. And what is the profound effect? Enhancing the goal of gaining higher states of consciousness, because you're enlivening. What does transcending do? Enlivens pure consciousness. And that is necessary to do for sleep as well as for your waking states of consciousness, waking, sleeping, and dreaming. So this is a wonderful way to start your advanced techniques if you choose to get this form of advanced techniques. The second and third advanced techniques are enhancements that are made just to the TM, 20 minutes of TM that you do. It's something you can add, that you're capable of adding since you've established effortless meditation. They're the smallest things, but they make such a good impact on expanding, even horizontally, the sense of expanded awareness which you have during TM. The last of the four advanced techniques that we teach as prerequisites to the advanced techniques we call the TM City techniques. That's something that's done after TM, immediately after. It means you don't really come out of your 20 minutes. You just start the technique from that settled state. It's a beautiful technique that just adds some minutes to your TM practice. It's one of those things you have to say, I'm doing 40 minutes a day. This is going to maybe move me to doing 60 minutes a day. But it's like investing in anything else. The return is fantastic. So those are the advanced techniques. And I hope that you all take into account that you're never just doing TM for yourself. One of the subtle advanced techniques is the fact that when you do it, especially in a group, it radiates an influence of pure consciousness in the environment. And in the world today, where we see so much that needs to be done to improve the world, we really don't have time to just be angry about things. We have to do things that actually can impact the health, the well-being, the creativity, and the progressiveness of our world. And if you think that, your TM teachers and Maharishi Mahesh Yogi are banging this drum that meditation, is important, not just for yourself, but for the world, let me read you a quote by a really wonderful, let me see if I can find it, first of all. I think it's here on my screen. No, it's on this screen over here. Sorry. This is a quote by a wonderful philosopher. Some of you are aware of Taoism. It's a beautiful philosophy from the Far East. And he's the founder of Taoism. His name is Lao Tzu. And he said, if you want to awaken all of humanity, and that's really what we need to do in the world today, awaken the humanity within each person and in each society in every country. If you want to awaken all of humanity, then awaken all of yourself. If you want to eliminate the suffering in the world, then eliminate all that is dark and negative in yourself. Truly, the greatest gift you have to give is that of your own self-transformation. This is a quote from one of the wisest people in the history of our world. What you're doing every day in your TM practice is helping the world. It's helping everyone around you. And the more profoundly you engage, for example, in group meditations, more profound experience, deeper, then the more you are benefiting. The TM City program is something Maharishi brought out particularly for the purpose of enlivening this pure consciousness for the world. And you know that our worldwide TM organization is as a major goal to develop large groups that practice together every day to radiate a powerful influence for the world. It's a wonderful thing. We're on the verge of having a group of 10,000 in Mexico, in the poorest. I'm sure that Tom and Jeannie have shown you before what's happened in Oaxaca, that state, it's the poorest state in Mexico. Tens of thousands of high school students throughout Oaxaca meditating together and now taking the advanced techniques and the TM City program and organizing for 10,000 of them to come together. Of course, we've been doing this thing in Oaxaca for about 15 years. And so some of those high school students are now adults, and we're organizing for a 10,000 group for the Americas. It's very, very exciting. The first of the 10,000 groups, because there will be more in the Americas since so many, more than 1 million people have learned TM in these last years in Latin America. All right, I talked too much, Tom.
No, you have not. It's been really wonderful.
Do you anybody want to ask a question?
Yeah, anybody here have any questions or comments? Keith?
Is there a technique in the late evening before bed that when you spoke about before you go to sleep, is there something that should be done? Is there a practice at that time as you're laying, getting ready to go from awake to sleep?
Yeah, that's what this is. It's the very first of the advanced techniques that Maharishi ever taught. You would have had to have gone to India to the first of the TM teacher training courses. That's where he taught it first. And it actually was discontinued as a teaching technique because the teacher training courses, he wanted to give it to every TM teacher. But the teacher training courses became so large and his ability to meet with every person, because it's a technique, if you can believe it, that's actually simpler and subtler than TM is.
Tell us.
If some of you thought it would be a challenge to learn an effortless meditation, this is even more effortless and subtle because it has to be. Because you don't want to do something that disrupts your active mind from falling asleep. And TM wouldn't be an ideal thing to do because you've got a mantra, you're enlivening the auditory sense, it's enlivening the prefrontal cortex. It's a great preparation for activity, but it's not a great preparation for going to sleep. So here you're looking at instruction and a different approach to transcending, but one that you can all do because guess what? You're already skilled at effortless thinking. That's the skill. So it's a technique that's taught in a several day course. That's the first of what we call the advanced techniques. I probably have confused you all because I've been talking about everything being an advanced technique, haven't I? But I specialize in confusing people. So if you're in that boat, I've succeeded. And Tom and Jeannie will end this meeting by straightening out the confusion, I'm sure. All right, any other questions?
Yes.
Yes, hi.
Hi, I'm Maggie. And
Hi, Maggie.
hi. You were talking about technique number 4 and increasing your meditation to 40 to 60 minutes a day. Is that both in the morning and in the evening?
It's increasing from 20 to 30, let's say, because it's powerful enough. I know you take 3 minutes to come out of your TM practice. After doing the fourth technique, you have to take at least 5 minutes.
Okay.
It's really has an impact. And so you do it for approximately 5 minutes. It increases the time you're doing your TM, likely from 20 minutes to 30 minutes. For your morning, and then 20, it would be 30 minutes in the evening. Yes, someone in the ether.
I have a question.
Is your first name Harley?
It sure is.
Oh, great.
I was wondering, because when you're talking about enlivening consciousness, I guess how are you defining consciousness?
Good point. Well, there's the active states of consciousness, aren't there? The active levels of consciousness. For example, your sensory awareness. That is a very constantly active when you're awake. Your intellect. We're doing something that would be like what a psychologist would do, defining, the different levels of consciousness. So you've got your sensory experience, you've got your intellect, that's the deciding part of the mind. discriminating, this, that. Then you have your feelings. Now, that's a subtler level of the mind, and it's very powerful. Actually, as you go to subtler levels of awareness, power increases. So your feelings have their own world, but they're part of the mind and they influence the other parts of the mind. They're ruled by their own laws of nature, you could say. I'm sure you can all relate to that. And then there's a subtler part of your feelings. In the Vedic tradition, they would say it's the subtlest level of feeling. In modern psychology, we would say it's akin to the ego. Now, I know that for many of us, the word ego means that's a pejorative term. You got a big ego and all that. But just think of it as the sense of self. It's a sense of self. And that is a very powerful level of your mind. And as your mind is going to more abstract or these finer levels of awareness, there's definitely increased abstraction in each of them. Because if I asked you, Harley, please describe your sensory experience, that wouldn't be hard. If I said, please describe the intellectual activity in your mind, you wouldn't have too hard a problem. Well, I was thinking this and I'm thinking that. Please describe your feelings right now. That'd be harder because the feelings are more abstract. But we don't want to equate more abstract with less real. Because the feelings are not only real, they're what's influencing your logic and your thinking and the state of your body, for example, and your sensory awareness. Now, if I asked Harley, can you tell me the state of your ego right now? Now we're in an area where you're really going to have a challenge. My ego. Your ego is influencing your self-image, your self-confidence, your self-efficacy. I'm just using words that modern psychology uses to describe the impact of either the health, the strength of the ego, or the weakness. The healthy ego is not egotistic. Let's make that clear. People who seem like they have a big ego, we refer to their ego like that. This guy's got a big ego. That's actually a weak ego. It's not a healthy ego. They're compensating for the weakness of the sense of self by trying to look more than they are. Now, Harley, those would be the active levels of the mind. But Vedic science, this ancient tradition that TM comes from, says, yes, but there's a transcendental level of awareness. It's pure awareness. Now, what does that mean? What is it aware of? It's consciousness conscious of itself. So rather than conscious of something outside itself, it's purely conscious of itself. It's like reverberating in itself. It's very lively. Now, each of you have had your moments of that state. Sometimes it's been vague. When you have a clear experience of that, it's like so special. It's like, I could sit here for a year like this. This is good. It's because it's the most enlivened state of your whole consciousness. It's pure, unbounded awareness. And that's what TM's, and that's what all the advanced techniques are aiming, are intended to enliven. Your mind turns within, it becomes conscious of subtler and subtler levels of awareness, and at moments transcends even the finest impulse of the active awareness and is just in that state of pure awareness. Harley, did that make sense at all?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
I'm so glad. If anything I say, just refer to Tom and Jeannie after this. They'll straighten everything out.
So
You're
Dean,
wondering, why did they ask this guy to speak? because he's saying that everything he said needs to be straightened out.
No,
Well, you'll have to ask Tom and Jeannie why.
yeah, ask
They
Jeannie.
were they took a chance.
I'll make it worse. Ask Jeannie. So, Dean, you want to unmute and ask? You have a question?
Yeah, yeah. Mario, thank you for your talk. Tom, Jeannie, thank you for your work. Mario, one of the things you said was that sleep, in my interpretation, is quite important to an advanced technique. For people with mood disorder or sleep disorder, I would think you'd have to deal with the mood or sleep disorder before the meditator would really get to or embrace an advanced technique.
Well, the sleep technique, yes, if you have a disorder, a sleep disorder, it's not that the first advanced technique is going to solve that disorder. Uh, it's it's like we say about TM, honestly. Um, TM's one of those things that can help the basis. You know, what do they say about disorders? They're either caused, the vast majority of them are complicated by stress. So your TM practice definitely is something that can be useful, but you have to do everything you can. Everything, what do we recommend? Do everything that science um, and your integrative medicine. Thank goodness, Maharishi spent 25 years, almost half his active teaching life, reviving Ayurveda, the world's oldest system of natural medicine. Something that was, why did he have to revive it? The British outlawed it. And they thought, no, this is old. We don't just deal with that. So it was outlawed, and he spent 25 years finding the the geniuses who still existed of Ayurveda and bringing it back in its wholeness. Now that's something that helps our health. And that I'm glad you brought this up, because one of the things that can certainly advance our goals of TM is learning about Ayurveda. Have any of you taken the free 10-lesson course, Introduction to Ayurveda, that's on the MIU, Maharishi International University website? Anybody? Okay. You, you can't lose. It's free. And trying it out, they're not going to, make you do all 10 lessons, because it's a taped course. But about 35,000 meditators in the US have taken it. It's with Dr. Robert Keith Wallace and Dr. Karen Pearce. She's a really famous Ayurvedic physician in Europe. And both of them are just geniuses, and they explain all about Ayurveda, and you start learning things that can help your waking and sleep and eating, and the whole thing your body does to try to get you to be healthy. So you got nothing to lose by going to miu.edu, or you can email me. I'll send you a link to the course, or Tom and Jeannie can help you take a link to the course. But it's great. It's a great introduction to Ayurveda, and MIU's made it free.
Any other questions? Anything on your mind?
I just have a quick one. Mario or Joey, do you live in Fairfield?
I now live in Fairfield. I spent a lot of the last 20 years working with Bobby Roth in Washington, D.C. and New York. But I'm now live in Fairfield. I just spent the last 2 months in Nepal, uh, I have really close friends who invited me, and I talked at schools there. I mean, it's amazing what's happening there. I wish every meditator could go there to see the power of the integration of Maharishi's uh, holistic understanding of Vedic wisdom that's being integrated. The schools in Nepal, they all, but the government says they all have to have meditation and yoga and Ayurveda taught in the schools. And Maharishi's system is a holistic one. It ties those things together and has research. And they're just all everybody wants to have it, and different. It's a Vedic country, was never conquered by the British. That maybe had some positive uh, impact. It's the most beautiful place. Uh, and Maharishi visited there in 1974 and said this country could lead the world. And I think it could, based on my experience of being there for a couple of months. I think it's amazing what's happening there. Anyway,
I had one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Toby?
hi, again, thanks to Tom and Jeannie and for you, Mario, for coming and sharing with us the wisdom that came through Maharishi from ancient times. But the thing that strikes me is that I came here this morning because I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning. I was not able to get to sleep. So sleep is a major issue for me, and it's reflected in two other questions already out of the 6 or 7 you got. My feeling is that somehow the biorhythms, when I had my 5-way heart bypass about 6 years ago, they took my heart out of my chest. Somehow they were messed up. Those are the same rhythms that you've been talking about, the rhythms of nature, the sap that flows through the flower that Maharishi talks about. Is your sleep technique related to that? Is that going to be the secret? It's just I'm at the end of my rope here. I try to sleep is a huge issue, and I'm excited to hear that you're that first technique deals with sleep. Can you talk a little bit more about the general approach to sleep in the context of the general rhythms of
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I really think, sleep it's so easy for me to say, here's an advanced technique, just get get enough sleep. And I'm not unaware of the condition in our society today, especially in the United States, that sleep is just being, our society's gotten so many of us out of the right rhythm. What can you do? I first have to say Ayurveda, because Ayurveda is all about enlivening the balance of rhythms in the body. All about that. The first thing Ayurveda can do, it's such a benefit, is to what body, mind type are you? Because a certain kind of routine would be great for someone else, but not for you. Learning about the particulars of our bodies, of what makes us the person we are physically and psychologically. I think that's incredibly powerful knowledge that we need. And when I said Maharishi spent half of his active life working, he saw what Western culture was like and thought this is really necessary. So consider taking that step I mentioned. Yes, it's like 10 hours of listening to something, but you'll get the gist right away, whether it's resonating with you. And I think you'll get a sense of what you can do practically to help this rhythm that you have improve. I could easily say, since I'm an advanced technique teacher, oh, take the night technique. That's the magic bullet. No, I'm not going to say that. No. I think I think things like retreats and Ayurveda are a critical basis for helping improve the body's internal balance with the mind-body balance. Is that unsatisfying an answer?
I think that's great, and you recognize it's not just turning off TikTok or the TV or something, which is when people think you don't get enough sleep. No, you're sleep deprived just because your system is just somehow messed up. And
Yeah.
very helpful, thank you.
Okay.
Any
Tom,
other
I hope I
pressing-
didn't go on too long.
Yeah, any other pressing questions before we let Mario go? You guys can always get in touch, and if you have something you'd like to ask, we can email it to him. But I should announce that we are having an advanced technique course here in March. Charles and Francis DeBray are coming up from Alabama. The course will be on the 14th. And we'll have an orientation meeting the 1st of March, and many opportunities for people to sign up for the advanced techniques. More emails will go out giving you all the information you need. So keep an eye out for that. But mostly right now, I just want to thank Mario for joining us. And if people want to stay on after we let Mario go, I'll put a slide up that has all the dates of the advanced technique and all the steps for you to sign up. So if you're interested and you have a few more minutes, you can stay on for that. But otherwise, Mario,
You can always, Tom, they don't have to bother. You can always email me at mario@davidlynchfoundation.org.
Mario@davidlynchfoundation.org. So he's available to you, all his wisdom and fun.
Well, I'll try to clarify some of the things I confused you.
All right, Mario. So thank
Okay.
you so much. It's really been
Thanks so
great.
much, Tom, Jeannie, and all of you.
We
Thanks
appreciate it
so much.
Yeah, bye-bye.
All the best.
So I am now going to put that slide up I was talking about so people can take note.
May I share something with you?
Sure.
After we break up, I'd love to talk to you.
I
Let's
just
see.
want to make an announcement, since you talked about Ayurveda, that one of the leading Ayurvedic doctors from India is moving here.
Oh, is he?
Really?
He's
Yeah.
been working with our organization for 30 years. His family happens to live in Charlotte. And he'll be moving here and doing some consultations and
When?
soon.
When?
This year,
Where? Here.
has just
Here.
started.
Here.
So we'll be keeping you posted about that.
That's awesome.
And in the meantime, we'll send you that link to that free Ayurveda course.
Yeah.
And you can start preparing yourself, and then when Dr. Manohar moves here, we'll have plenty of opportunities.
right. So,
You have to be vegetarian to practice Ayurveda?
No,
no. That's true. Yeah.
I'll vouch for that. I mean, you can if you want.
okay.
That would be a limit.
Bye, Keith.
So the advanced technique course, March 14th and 15th, that's a Saturday and a Sunday. And the class will be at 5 p.m. for people getting their second, third, and fourth technique. And for the night technique, the first technique, the class will be at 6:30 on Saturday, March 14th. And then the next day, there's a meeting in the morning at 10.
Where's it gonna be held?
It's going to be here at the TM Center. Yeah.
So do we meet first before we sign up?
Yeah, there's going to be an orientation meeting, Sunday, March 1st. It's going to be in two parts.
Okay.
Sunday, March 1st at 1, and part 2, March 8th, following Sunday. And you can either come here and do that in person, or you can do it online, connect online.
So would I be able to talk to the teacher independently about a couple questions?
When they get here, yeah, in March, on that weekend, you
14th.
can meet with, anybody has a question about advanced techniques you've already received, you can meet and talk with the teachers when they're here.
On the 14th?
Yeah.
Okay, so I make an appointment for the 14th.
14th or 15th, I'll have to ask them when, it might be on Sunday, they might have more time. So the first step is you do the orientation meeting. Second step is there's an online application form that you fill out. We will send you the link, just let us know you want to apply. Third step, there's 3 videos that are part of the advanced technique course that you'll watch online at your leisure, and we'll send you the links for that. So there's a lot of intellectual understanding and good knowledge that comes with the advanced technique course. And then the fourth step is the actual instruction that weekend and those 2 sessions over Saturday and Sunday. And then a follow-up meeting with the teacher. It's about a week or so later, but that'll be worked out with the teacher when they get here. So again, this is the schedule, Saturday, March 14th. But we'll send out emails with all this information in it, so you don't have to worry about trying to remember everything now. But that's what's going to happen.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up, we're already in February, so.
Yeah, it's about a month or so away.
Yeah. So March 1st will be the first orientation meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's
All right.
a good time, I'm open.
Yeah.
Is there anything you needed us to clarify?
No, I think he actually was joking. He made really good sense. He was very clear about everything. Some good questions. Thanks everyone for joining us and for asking your
No,
questions.
thank you for
And
doing this. This is
we have
wonderful.
some treats over here for you today. Some organic cookies and stuff. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I made some cookies, but they have some brown sugar in it. I was gonna bring them the sugar off the table.
Well, most people don't care about sugar. I mean, don't mind sugar.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And the ones that do, we just let them know there's
I
sugar.
wonder if
Yeah.
they were dates.
I wouldn't mind. Jeannie just try to be off sugar, but
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I did also.
yeah.
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you very much for coming. Yes.
I think that's yours, right?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah, he's a good speaker. Yeah.
Tom, with the weather getting better now, hopefully, so we should be able to, go there personally.
Yeah, we hope so. And I'm working on getting you the app, Anand. I've
Yeah.
taken some steps, so we're in communication about it. Getting your TM instruction from India in the 70s verified, but it's taking a few steps.
But I don't even know, first of all, what does the TM app do? I mean, what is its function?
Well, there's a lot of great videos on it, and there's events that you can participate in, and a review of the TM course. A lot of great resources in the TM app. You'll enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Hey, Jim,
Thank you.
Greg, Wendy, everybody. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.